Can you guys give a big hand clap for Athena Captain?
Hi, thank you. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use it. No. Okay. Hi, welcome. So those of you who are back there, I'm really loud, so you'll hear me, so keep talking. It's okay. So thank you guys for being here. We got a break. We got to move around a little bit. Some great speakers this morning. We talked about systems and taxes and, well, we don't have to love taxes, but in business, right, we better get our taxes right or we're all going to go broke. But really what I want to talk about, they alluded that I was going to talk to you about time blocking, but does anybody okay if I don't talk about that? Because of all my 10 subjects I teach for CE classes here in Oklahoma City, that is one that everybody's like, oh God, here she goes again. So let's not do that. But let me ask you this right now. How many of you right now say, Athena, I do not need more referrals? What? Nobody? How many in here can tell me right now your bank account is so full you don't care if you win the lotto? None. Okay, that's okay, good. You want referrals? Good, all right. Yes, all right. Let me ask you this question though. How many of you right now can say 90% of your business is from referrals? Raise your hand. Awesome. For those of you who have done that, that is a huge achievement. For those of you who haven't done it, I want to talk to you about how we do it. And for those of you who have achieved it, I want to talk about how we take it to a new level. You guys ready for that? So first of all, let me explain a little bit, just shortly, of who I am. I actually have a number of roles. I am a business partner for a home building company here in Oklahoma City, and we build custom houses on land. But more importantly, and why you guys really care, is I actually am a national sales coach, speaker, and mentor. And I work in the real estate industry, but I also work in a number of other industries: insurance, banking, MLM, financial advisors, etc. And I typically am dealing with CEOs, business owners, and high-producing people. And what we're talking about is, how do we build a non-stoppable sales engine that creates leads for you while you're sleeping? Anybody want that? Right? So at the very beginning this morning, we talked about systems. And what I want to talk about, right, is how do we create the systems of referrals? But how did I learn? Okay, how did I learn? So how I learned is I came from, don't hate me, but corporate America. Shh, boo, right? Right? I had done everything that everybody said. I had the big corner office and all the funny stuff, all the fun stuff that we think we want as little children. But then I have a daughter with special needs who has what in that world is severe profound. She's almost 18, a wheelchair user, nonverbal, and still in diapers. So that's a full-time job. And so corporate America told me, at that point, single mom, oh, by the way, you cannot take your daughter to her doctor's appointments because that's not convenient for us. So I said, well, that ain't convenient for me. So I found a local home builder here in Oklahoma who valued family and freedom. And so I took a huge pay cut, over six-figure pay cut, to come work at this little home builder. The issue with the little home builder is, I don't know if you guys know this, how many of you are a real estate agent? Okay. Hey, friend! So if you are a real estate agent in Oklahoma, do builders love you? Not usually. And so one of the things that I figured out is, how do I beat my competition as a custom home builder in Oklahoma? I had just moved to Oklahoma, and if you haven't noticed, I'm female. And so I went to the home builders associations and asked them, how am I going to take this home building company from a standard home building company where they build it, what we call production, so they build it and sell it, to 100% build on land, custom builder, and change their entire process. And I went in and I talked to these other builders, and they said, well, first of all, hate the realtors, don't work with them, etc. And by the way, they also said very condescendingly, good luck, little girl. Well, now let's fast forward. 5 years later, that little girl decided that being friends with agents was where it was at. And if I was gonna go play in the sandbox where nobody else wanted to play, and I realized in that industry, who was my client? My client was not the person buying the house, right? My client was not the custom home person. My client was the agent. So first, I had to identify who the client was. Once I did that, I started creating a system, and I'm going to share on some aspects to that system in the short amount of time I have today. But I started creating that system in January of 16. And at that point, we had 3 referral partners. 3. I had my assistant in the home building company pull a report for me, and we have over 1,000 referral agents to date. 1,000. We are a 100% referral-based business, and I did the numbers last night. Well, my staff did the numbers last night. I have improved the business over 10 times since I took over. Okay? We have so many leads that my business partner and I are creating yet another company, right, to sell our leads to other builders throughout the United States, because guess what? The engine we created is creating so many leads. We're in the top 5 most Googled websites in the United States of America on how to build on land, and we're right here, right? So how did I do it? There's nothing special about me. I'm going to say that. Outside of my why. My why is my daughter. I refuse to sit in front of her and tell her, somebody who's endured 8 major surgeries and has obstacles every single day, that I can't do something that's going to give her the life she desires and needs. So how did I do it? So today I want to share with you how. And I'm going to simplify this very simply. Relationships. Relationships. And I just came back from a huge conference out in California, which was the top 2% of lending officers in the United States, and had 30 different speakers. And I just came back from my mentor, Darren Hardy's, his master class. And you know what all the people way smarter than me are saying? And for once, all the talking heads agree. Can everybody just go, what? Right? What? I can't believe it. We got people in higher powers agreeing with something. And guess what they're all saying? Relationships. And what has happened in the industry, especially in the real estate industry, in the last couple of years? We have been hand-fed. Hand-fed and so busy that we forgot the fundamentals. So today I want to go back to, let's get back to the fundamentals. And what are the fundamentals? I'm not going to take you through my 10 steps. That's coming out. You'll be able to have access to that. But here's what I want to tell you. Right now, how many of you have a list of all of your current referral partners? That if I sat down with you right now and said, generate that list, that you had it. I'm not trying to shame anybody. If you have it, excellent. Now I want to say to you, what are you doing with it? When was the last time you went belly to belly with them? When was the last time you had a conversation with them? And I am not talking about marketing to them. Okay? I'm not talking about marketing. I'm not talking about your emails, your newsletters. I'm talking about a relationship. Do you think that I got 1,000 people because I gave them a newsletter? I don't think so. Do you think I dominated a market from a newsletter? Do you think I started another national company that, by the way, in less than 2 years is well over 6 figures? And that first number ain't a 1 or a 2 or a 4. It's higher. In 2 years, it will be 6 figures and then less than 2 more. 7 figures. Do you think I did that because I sent out a newsletter? No. So I want to ask you, what are you doing currently right now to have real, authentic relationship with your referral partners? When was the last time you asked them what they're struggling with? When was the last time you let them cry on your shoulders because guess what's happening right now in their markets? Do you know how many people that are in this industry who are going to fail this year? Do you know how many people that are connected to this industry? Lenders, people in insurance. Do you know how many of them are scared right now? Let me ask you this. When was the last time you allowed yourself to lay in bed and think about your referral partners and what is going through their psyche when they first wake up? What makes them scared? What makes them shake? What makes them afraid? When was the last time you felt that? If you haven't done that, I call it getting into bed with your referral partners in a PC way. Okay? Lay down in your bed and think about what are they thinking? What is keeping them up at night? And then let me ask you a question. What are you doing to help them? What are you doing to help them? What blog are you introducing to them? What system are you introducing them to? What technology are you helping them with? What relationship are you connecting them with? What mentor are you connecting with? And if they say they can't afford coaching, if they can't afford help, you tell them, let me help you figure out how you can. In the last 2 weeks, I have had a stream of people come to me and say, Athena, I can't afford coaching, but I'm dying. I'm dying. You know what I'm doing? I'm connecting them. I'm saying, you guys, go read this book. Go read it together. Keep each other accountable. Don't pay for a dime for it, but you hold each other accountable. Okay? No nice. Nice is for when we're winning. Okay? We'll get nice. Right now, we need real. Real means, what are you really doing about it? Okay? Also, what are you doing with your past clients? Be honest. If I was sitting down about to coach you, I need a list of your past clients. Now, you tell me right now, every single one of them, I want to know what's going on in their life. And you better do it without looking. Can you do it? Do you know what's going on in their life? And are we adding value to them? And by the way, it's about to be Christmas, and I'm sorry if I'm about to say this and I hurt anybody's feelings, but when I say adding value, I'm not talking about buying them a pumpkin or a pie. That's marketing, and that's nice. When I'm talking about adding value, I'm talking about changing lives. Are you changing lives? Are you in their life, changing their life in a positive way? Are you contributing in making a difference? You're about to hear a whole day's worth of experts. You just added what I call, and in something I teach, to a value-add Rolodex. Anybody want to know what my value-add Rolodex is? Okay? So a value-add Rolodex, and by the way, for millennials, it's this little round thing that used to be our phone. Okay? I'm old. I'm almost 50. But a value-add Rolodex is not just your plumber, roofer, although we got a good one in the house. It's not just that. Your value-add Rolodex is people you have vetted that you trust in all different industries to service your referral partners, past clients, and people you meet. They're the connections you make that have nothing to do with your industry, because you know what you're trying to prove? You're trying to prove that you're a good human being. You do not multiply and create $10-million businesses from scratch on referrals only if you don't start in here and care more about them. Somebody asked me recently, I want to go into coaching. What should I think about? Can you make a lot of money? Yes. Can you even get famous? Yes. Should those two things matter? They better not, otherwise you will fizzle out. You know what you should be thinking? When I die, and you guys should be thinking the same thing. When I die, how big of an arena are they going to need because I made that much of a difference? Okay? That's how you do it. How big will that arena have to be? Because that person says, hey, she introduced me to that blog. It changed my way of thinking. She had me read that book. Hey, he told me to go to that seminar. Or you know what? He held my hand while I was crying and about to give up, right? I've been there. In my journey, you guys, I almost bankrupt that home building company that had been around since 1964. And I almost bankrupt my family. I know what it's like 10 years ago to go and get payday loans to pay the bills to stay entrepreneurial. I know what it's like to do the pennies, to have gas, to take my disabled daughter to school. If you haven't felt that pain yet, then you ain't doing this right yet, because you got to put it all on the line. And that means we need to be sticking together and not judging each other if one of us is there. If one of us has pennies, don't judge them. Sit down with them and help them turn those pennies into $1,000 bills, okay? Your referral partners, your past clients, and you start building those relationships to start helping people. And yes, I like nice things. I do. I like to fly private, and I do. But 10 years ago, I was lucky I didn't have to walk to work, okay? So let's understand that's the goal. But the goal is not paved with selfish behavior. It's paved by generosity and giving. So again, what are we doing with the relationships that God has given us? What are we doing with them? So here's my thing, and this goes back to the systems. You must have a CRM, right? You need to know who your target markets are. You need to be building your value-add Rolodex, adding people to that Rolodex that you can add value to other people in every conversation. In this room today, is this a networking event for a lot of you? Okay, let me give you. My team is working. We're going to actually trademark this. So you ready? Here's advice for every single networking event. Every single one of you, when you're speaking to each other today, you need to do this. Be thinking in your brain. One of four things. I'm going to pick on you. What's your name? Tao. So I would be talking to Tao. First of all, if Tao and I are talking, and Tao says to me, what brought you here, the better thing to do was get to Tao to talk first, right? Get Tao talking first. Then, in my mind, while I'm actually listening to her, because I want to add value to her and make an impact to her, I'm going to be thinking, is Tao a good business partner? A client? Could she be a client? Could she be a referral partner? Could she be a good strategic partner? Or do I need to bless and release her? You guys want to understand what those are? Like a client, meaning that she could purchase from one of my businesses. I have 4 now. So which one would it be? Then, could she be a good referral partner? Part of that is you better know your target market, so you know, but could she be a referral partner? Could she be a good strategic partner? Meaning, she's not going to be the other two, but I like who she is. And I would be willing to introduce her and to people as I'm adding value to people. And bless and release just means there's something about you, I'm sorry, that just says, my spirit says, I'm not going to use you to add value to people. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to say anything ugly about you, but I'm just not going to add you into that world. Okay? So you're thinking that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take notes, remember her, and then I'm going to follow up with her, and I'm going to have the appropriate call. Now, here's the problem. How many of you are really going to follow up with each other after this? Right? Good. A networking event without follow-up is called a social gathering, and good for you. Just get real with it, okay? If you came here just to socialize and have nothing better productive to do on a Friday morning, then good for you. Otherwise, you better follow up with intention. And if I'm following up with her, I'm going to know which bucket she fit in, and I am already, based on our conversation, going to be looking to how to add value to her. Okay? With my value add Rolodex or experience, I'm going to add value to her. Am I going to ask her for business? No. I am not. You know why? I haven't earned the right to yet. I haven't earned the right to yet. What I do is I show her my character first. I build her up first. Once she knows that, then I'm going to be honest with her. I think you and I would be excellent referral partners. And let me tell you why. But I'm going to be humble and let you know, but I understand it has to be on your terms. How can I make this easy for you? How can I make sure you feel comfortable? Do you see the difference there? In this industry especially, everybody's going around like, you got to ask for referrals. You got to ask for referrals. That's noise. It's noise. Plus, when you ask for somebody the word referral, whose pressure are you, the pressure goes on who? Who you're asking. Now, I'll tell you, especially on the national stage, I have other coaching people who are like, Athena, I can't believe you get on stage and tell people not to ask for referrals. You're crazy. I don't think it needs to be like that. Tao and I have a relationship. And even if she was my client, I would say to her this: I love doing business with you. I love your temperament. I love how you address things. Do you know anyone like you that would benefit from knowing me? And would you introduce them to me? Do you think I'm going to get a referral? Do you think she's going to go out of her way to introduce me to her people? She will. Trust me. You would. Because all I'm saying is I love you, I care about you, and you've watched how I care about you, so will you go allow me to love on people that you already love? Do you get it? And all you're doing is adding value, and building relationships. Now, you have to be intentional, right? You have to be intentional. You have to have the systems in place. So have a follow-up plan. Have a CRM. Know your target markets. And I'm going to wrap this up with, remember, the biggest way to build an unstoppable sales engine that fills your coffers with more money than you know what to do with is to remember it's not about you. It's about who you serve. Thank you. Questions? Any questions?
Did you write one down?
I got a question.
Yeah.
So when you're building these relationships, What are some great ways to build a relationship? Like, it's not emailing them, or is it going out with them, taking them out?
Okay, so I'm going to make this really simple. A relationship is built the same way if you were interested in dating someone. If you want to date somebody to get to know them, would you only email them? You would not. You would go have coffee or lunch or dinner, and then if you like them, you would not ghost them. You would follow up with them. You would have conversations with them. You would get to know them. So why do we treat people in business differently? Because frankly, all of y'all have been on dates that were not worth your minutes. And so you might as well use that same energy into relationships that will produce some fruit.
I don't know if that helped me that much. I'm not great at dating. I've been emailing them for a long time.
Then you need to just call me. I'll help you.
All right.
That's it. Any other questions? Yes. It will actually come out second quarter. It's been a lot of years in the work, I will tell you. I cannot. My publisher is changing the name. So I am learning that there's a lot to learn when you actually when you want to publish. So get help. There's a publisher in the house. So yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, I use HubSpot. HubSpot is my absolute favorite CRM on the planet. My mentors use HubSpot. I use HubSpot for all of my businesses, and most of my national clients use HubSpot. It's because it's inbound marketing based, not outbound. So it's about attracting people to you, not going after people.
I love that. Thank you so much, Athena. I appreciate you. You're fantastic.